Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Spiritual Growth Journeys. Thank you for supporting this channel. I'm glad you're here. So today I have a teaching for you about um, basically, well, let's put it this way. I'm constantly telling everybody in order to ascend to fifth density, you need to do the work. And then people say, what is the work? Well, there's all kinds of work. There's work on getting rid of all the negative aspects of your ego. There's work on clearing up all your past life stuff, all your trauma, all your karmas, all your debt, all your false light contracts, curses, clearing all those, clearing dark magic spells, clearing poverty vows. You have to clear trauma and all those same things I just mentioned, and trauma from this life, from your DNA that you've inherited from your mom and your dad and all your ancestors, going all the way back and clearing all them and clearing all the way forward to all your descendants. And you also need to clear from stuff that you've created since you were in the womb. And so that's all part of ascending. And also you have to do what we call shadow work, which is getting rid of all the dark parts, negative parts of you, like judging others, critiquing others, having a need to be right, having a need to know it all, competing with others, thinking you're the center of attention, being an egomaniac, being a narcissist, all these negative aspects. Pointing fingers at everyone. One thing Yeshua said is, for every finger you point, there's three back at you, because you're going like this. You got these three back. All of these things need to be cleared in order to go to fifth density. And until you have done all that work and completed all that work, you will only proceed to fourth density. And that's just how the universe works. Now, are you still ascending? Yes, every human on the earth not only is ascending, but will be ascending, but at different rates of time. Okay, so not everybody all does it together to 5D all at once. There's going to be groups going at different times. There's going to be some people leaving here who are stuck in 3D, who have no interest in moving forward, and they need to go to another 3D planet and get their ass kicked a few more 1,000 times before they figure out that they need to try to work on themselves. And so there's those people. Are they ascending? Yes, but at a wee bit rate than you are. They're ascending much slower. They're more like a preschooler. You're more like a high schooler about to go to college. So if you want to compare, that's kind of the comparison. We are all the same. Nobody's better. I'm not any better than those people. You're not any better than those people. And they're not any better than us. Because in God's eyes, in the creator, when I say God, I should say mother, father, prime creator, because there's thousands of gods. In the eyes of the prime creator who made your soul, that prime creator loves every one of its children equally. It doesn't say, well, I love this 3D guy better than this 2D guy, or this 5D person better than this, 3D person. That's not how the mind of God works, because the mind of source is unconditional love. It can only be unconditional love and peace and joy and bliss and high vibration, because that's all that creator is able to do. So there's not going to be any judgment there. But the thing is that you have all of this work that you need to do in order to move from level to level. You don't just get a get out of jail free card. You don't get to just go past go and collect $200 on the Monopoly table for no reason at all. You have to earn it. It has to be earned. You have to do the work. Part of your mission and your actually what we call your purpose. If you read my book, Ascension 101, I talk about the different purposes and different missions you have. You have soul purposes, and then you have human missions that you have while you're on Earth or in Pleiades or any other planet that you incarnate on. You have certain missions that you go there for, but your soul has specific purposes. And one of those is to constantly learn and grow, just like I'm teaching you, but I'm also a student. I'm also a student. I'm always a student. My soul will be a student until my soul remerges back with source creator again, billions of years into the future. I'm always learning and learning and learning and learning, and so are you. And so part of ascending is learning and growing and doing the work on yourself. And nobody's going to wave a magic wand. If you come and you do a session with me, I'm going to diagnose all of your problems. I'm going to diagnose all your blocks and all your traumas and all your things going on. And then I'm going to give you the tools, whether it's a clearing that we do, or whether it's some other homework meditation, or chakra balancing, or going to some sort of a chiropractor or whatever it is that you need. I'm going to teach you the tools and give you the tools that you need to move forward and to ascend. But I'm not going to wave a magic wand and go, ta-da, you are now ascended to fifth density. You have to do this work. I cannot do it for you. And so today I want to talk about what we call abandonment issues, because this is a big problem in the collective consciousness of humanity. A lot of humans have abandonment issues. If not from this lifetime, they have it from past lifetimes. And if you have abandonment issues from past lives, you need to clear it. And that's also considered trauma. Being abandoned is also trauma. So it's all one and the same thing. So if you say, Kimberly, is abandonment the same as trauma? Yes, it is, because when you're abandoned, it's traumatizing. So trauma is trauma, and there's different types of trauma. There's trauma from being raped. There's trauma from being murdered. There's trauma from watching other people get harmed. There's trauma from losing a job. There's trauma from losing your bank account, trauma from drug overdosing, trauma from getting really sick and going into the hospital. There's trauma from your family members passing, from divorce, from separations, from breakups, and on and on and on. From watching the trade centers get blown up on 9/11 on your television, that will traumatize you. Watching horror movies will totally traumatize you and stick with you forever. There's actually a video of Prince going around the internet where he talks about horror movies. He never watches them because he asked the guy to, he was in an interview and he asked the guy to recall a scene. He said, "What's your favorite horror movie?" And then the guy named it. He said, "Now tell me a scene from that horror movie." And he told Prince the scene from the horror movie, and Prince explained to him. His explanation is much more lengthy than what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say in a nutshell that basically everything that you watched and observed in that is now part of you. It's now part of your being. You've now internalized all that into your body, into your DNA, into your energy spectrum. Everything you're viewing on social media becomes part of you. Everything that you take into your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your nose, everything that comes into all your orifices becomes part of you, body, mind, and spirit. And unless you clear it, or unless you put a shield of protection around yourself before you watch that horrible stuff, and you ask the angels to protect you, and you say, "I do not consent to any contracts or any dark magic or anything that is in what I am viewing. I do not consent to any of this." Unless you say that, you're taking it on. Now, of course, you only have to do this type of protection when you're doing something negative, like a horror movie. If you're watching something like a comedy show where you're laughing, which is really high vibration, and you're just having fun and you're laughing, that you don't need to have to clear or protect yourself of, because that is high vibe. If you're watching a romance movie, which is very warm, fuzzy, you're watching a family special, you're watching people sing beautiful music, you're at a symphony concert, you're at the opera, you're reading posts on Facebook that are uplifting. If it's an uplifting post, you don't have to clear yourself of that. But every time you read a post that's negative, it's actually traumatizing you in some way. And every time you watch a movie or something on the television that is negative, it's actually traumatizing your body, mind, and spirit in some way, and it's becoming part of you. You're actually integrating that into yourself. And so this is all stuff that we have to do as spiritual beings and as ascending beings. We need to surround and protect ourselves continuously, and we need to clear. You need to use what we call the violet flame. You can call in the violet flame of Saint Germain and Archangel Zadkiel, and you can ask for that violet flame to purify your body, mind, and spirit of anything that you saw, you heard, you spoke, you drank, you ate. In fact, I do it with my food. If I'm taking a new vitamin, if I open a brand new bottle of vitamins, I ask for the violet flame to purify the vitamins of anything that might be harmful to my body, mind, or spirit. When I drink water, I do that. I use it for a lot of things, but you need to be constantly clearing things that might possibly be negative at all, anything that might be negative. So it could be a horror movie. It could be a post about, oh, the world's going to blow up. Sorry, I got to fan myself for a second here. I'm having what we call a menopausal moment, otherwise known as a hot flash. But in my case, I'm many years beyond menopause, so it is an ascension symptom for me. And for all of you who are having hot flashes, if you're 20 years old or 80 years old and you're having a hot flash, or you're 10 years beyond menopause and you've gone to the doctors and the doctors shake their head and go, we don't know why you're having a hot flash or you're sweating, that is actually ascension. That's how we are going from carbon-based body to a crystalline body. Because as Yeshua told me, he said, we are turning you from sand into glass. You have to be heated up, like they turn how they take sand and they make it into glass as they burn it in a really hot fire, and it turns into glass. And so that is what they're doing to the people who are ascending to fid density. If you're somebody who has never had a hot flash ever, you don't sweat at all, you could have the opposite, which is like really icy cold chills all the time, and that is also an ascension symptom. If you're having none of those symptoms, there's a chance that it means you're not going to be going to fid density in the first group. The people who are having the most strongest symptoms are usually the ones who are going to go to fid density in the very first group. And that is because our bodies are being purified and being readied to go full on crystalline. And there's going to be a certain percent of the population that goes to 5D in the first round, another percent that will go in the second round, and then another in the third round, if there is a third round. Yeshua and the heavenly host is hoping and expecting everybody to go in round 1 and 2. And it's going to be your job. If you go in round 1, it means that you are here as a teacher, a counselor, a healer, and a leader in the new earth. And it means that you have a huge responsibility to take all of the other people who stay here on the planet who are in 4th density. You need to take all the 4D people and you hold them by their hands and you teach them all these things that I teach you in Ascension 101 and all my other books I've written and in all my videos, all these things that I'm teaching. You need to all teach these concepts, which is why I'm here. I'm here to inspire other teachers, other healers, other leaders. I'm here to inspire them. And so you take the information that I'm giving you, and you're going to be turning around and giving that information to your neighbors, your friends, and your family who have the huge awakening that's going to come up really soon here. And they're going to be going to 4D, then you're going to teach them. And then you're going to tell them, you got to do your work now. Now you got to clear your trauma, and you got to clear your ego, and you got to clear all these things. Because until they do that, they cannot progress to fid density. Fid density, there's none of this ego. There's no shadow side of you. It's just pure bliss, pure love, pure joy, no judgment, unconditional love for every being on this earth, every person on the earth, unconditional love, and respect for every living creature, compassion for every living creature, whether it's a bug, whether it's, a bird, whether it's a crocodile, just love and compassion for all life. And so until they're ready to go there, you're going to all be me. You're all going to be me. I can't heal, just like Yeshua couldn't heal and ascend millions of people all over the planet. I'm not able to do that either. You all are deputized versions of me. I deputize every one of you watching my videos, that when everybody goes out, when everything transitions, which is going to happen, supposedly by the end of this year, they say it's going to happen. When we transition and all the 3D people leave here, the people who are remaining, who aren't in fid density, if you're one of those who is going to fid density in the first group, your job is to teach all the 4th density people how to do this work. That's what you're here for. And or be a leader or be a healer and heal those people. So that is, if you're watching my videos and you go 5D, you signed up in the first group to be a leader, a teacher, or a healer. And that's the truth. That's what's going to happen. So one of the biggest things that you need to heal is abandonment issues. So let's talk about this. So who needs to heal abandonment issues? Well, majority of the population. So if you were abandoned in a past life, and let me explain what I mean by abandonment issues. Abandonment issues could be you are an orphan. When you were born, your mom died and you didn't have a dad. She was a single mom. She died in childbirth, or well, just your mom died in general. You're abandoned from that. Or you were abandoned because while you were your mom had you in the womb, your parents were yakking, saying they don't want a baby, they don't want you, you're unwanted, while you were in the womb. So this starts in the womb, and they can be saying you're not wanted. They can be saying they can leave you. They can put you in an orphanage. They can leave you on the side of the road, whatever. If anybody ever discarded you starting from birth on through childhood, maybe your parents passed away, one or more parents died when you were a kid, or even as an adult. I had to deal with abandonment issues back 18 years ago when my mom and dad both suddenly died unexpectedly. First, my dad went when I turned 40, 2 weeks after I turned 40. In his sleep, he just went, and I was expecting him to live another 30 years. And then my mother died a year later from broken heart syndrome. Her heart just went in the middle of the night, and she was lamenting over him every day after he died. And so she had a broken heart. So then I felt really abandoned. My parents are gone. I'm an orphan now. I'm abandoned. I felt huge abandonment. So I had to do a lot of clearing and healing around abandonment. And so that is one way. So losing your parents is going to cause abandonment issues. Another way is losing a spouse, either through death or they leave you. Having boyfriends or girlfriends constantly breaking up with you and leaving the relationship, having friends continuously leave your friendships. If you're losing a lot of friends all the time, that will cause abandonment issues. So those are the people who need to heal on abandonment, are the people who are experiencing these things, whether it's in this life or whether it's in a past life. You can also inherit abandonment issues from your ancestors. It can be passed down as trauma through your ancestors. So you may not even know about it. Your great, 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 whoever 400, years ago, like my great, 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 whatever grandfather who lived in Spain back in the 14, I guess my family left Spain in 14, 15, 1600, whatever that was, sometime in the medieval era, they left Spain and they went to other places in Europe and intermixed with those people. You could have that relative way back then who had an abandonment issue that you have to clear on, because it gets passed down through the DNA. If you read the book Biology of Belief by Bruce H. Lipton, PhD, it explains a lot of this, how trauma and stress gets passed down through the DNA. And any kind of stress, any kind of trauma that your ancestors went into goes into the DNA, it goes into the mitochondria, and then it goes down generation after generation. An example is when my grandpa was a little boy, he got to watch everybody in his village get gunned down in front of him by the Bolsheviks in Russia. And so that was pretty traumatic. He was taken in by farmers. He had to hide on the farm in the swamps. He actually had to hide in the swamps in icy cold, I think, winter temperatures. And he wound up getting severe kidney disease, and he actually died quite young. My grandpa, I was very close with him. I was only 10 years old when he passed. And he was like early 60s maybe, and he died of kidney failure. And that was from the trauma that he went through in Russia with the Bolsheviks coming in and murdering everybody in all these little villages all over Europe. These were all people who were dedicated to Tsar Nicholas and his family. They were all people who either worked for the Tsar, they ran farms for him, or they served him in some way, or they just followed him. They were followers. They liked the Tsar, and unless you wanted to become communist immediately back then, they killed you. So that kind of thing is going to go into your DNA, and it's going to get passed down generation after generation after generation. So that's really really, really important to understand. And so this came up in a session with a client where I had a client who had abandonment issues that actually went back to birth because she was actually abandoned as a baby, you know? So now let's talk about another horrible way to create abandonment issues in children. This really hurts my heart. I don't like talking about this, but it's so damn important. So as you all know, the cabal has created all sorts of mechanisms in our society and taught all sorts of things in the schools and in society that cause trauma and strife and grief, because all of the dark entities on this planet feed off of all that suffering and grief, and that's their loosh. And so they've created a lot of different things, like, for example, circumcising baby boys and traumatizing them, that kind of thing. Any type of thing that they've passed down generation after generation that they've created that creates trauma in the people. And then that trauma is not only carried down generational, but it's loosh that feeds all of the entities and all of the Draco reptilians, the demons, all these entities. They just feed off of all that trauma loosh. So a big one, this is like so hard to talk about, but a big one is my brain just did a brain fart. I gotta look. Okay, just checking. Being put down as a baby. Okay, so let's talk about, you are a mom or you are a dad and you have a baby, and society has told you, there's a whole bunch of psychotherapists, famous ones, Dr. Spock and all these kind of people who have written books over the years saying that when a baby is crying at night, that you just let them cry. Or if a baby is crying in the living room, you just let them cry, or you go and you put them down all the time in a swing, or over here, or over in a jumper, or over in a little thing, and you're just putting them down. And when they're crying, you just leave them alone. That is actually, that concept was created by the Draco reptilians. It was created to traumatize children and ruin them. It ruins them the rest of their lives. Let me explain how. So let me give you my own kids as an example, because when I was raising my son, because baby number one, when you're a new mom and you give birth to a child, it doesn't come with a what do you call it? A manual. They're not born with a manual. And I had no experience. I didn't have any older siblings. I'd never been around people having babies. I had no idea how to raise a baby. So I did not have my mom close by. My mom was 1,500 miles away, and I didn't get along with her anyways. So I wasn't able to have a mom there to help me. I'm not even going to talk about my in-laws where they were, but they were non-existent as far as helping me goes. So I didn't have any help. It was just me and my wits and what I knew and what I learned. So what did I do? I went and bought stacks of books on child rearing, all the different books on how to raise babies, how to raise children, how to discipline them, all that. And I read all those and I believed them. What I didn't realize were, back then, because I was really young, I was 20, or how old was I? I was 30. Sorry, I was 20 when I was married, 22 when I was married. I was 30, like 32 years old, 31, 32, and when I had children. And the thing is that I didn't know anything. I had these babies growing inside my belly and had no clue. It's whatever society told me. So the thing is that the books all told me to put my child down and to let them cry during the night and all that kind of thing. And so I did that with my son, and it actually caused a lot of problems. It made him very fearful of people. It made him very timid of people. It made him more reserved. It also made him not trust people. He doesn't trust people easily. It takes him forever, to trust somebody. He just doesn't trust people. It really did a number on my son's head, and I had to forgive myself for this because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have, again, parents or anyone to help me. It was all these books, and these books were written by people that were all what I call Draco infiltrated. They were all part of that cabal system, that medical, that American Medical Association, Rockefeller. They were all part of the Rockefeller system is what they were part of. So all the information came from Rockefeller stuff. I didn't know any better. I was young and stupid. Okay. So when he was crying, we'd let him cry. We'd put him down in a swing all the time, blah, blah, blah. And he wound up being really needy. My daughter, on the other hand, I put her down. I mean, I tried to put her down and she'd cry. And I'd learned the hard way by watching my son, how he was, because he was older. He was a few years older. So I got to watch his behavior as a result of how he was treated as a baby with the putting him down all the time and all that. I got to see, oh my God, this kid is fearful. He's not trusting people. He's clingy. I'm not going to do that with my daughter. So with my daughter, she would throw tantrums and she would cry, and I would hold her on my hip everywhere I went. In fact, by the time she was 3, because she wouldn't let me put her down until she was like close to 3. By the time I was able to put her down, my back and my hips were out so bad I had to go through years of chiropractic help to fix me with that. But it was worth it, and I would do it all over again. And here's why. I have this daughter who is an amazing Valkyrie, force to be reckoned with. She is strong. She is independent. She is brilliant. She has no fear of anything. She is a badass warrior. She is a goddess. She is freaking amazing. No fear. And does she trust everybody? No, she's very careful of who she trusts because she's smart, but she's not like afraid of everybody. And she's not, she just turned out wonderful. Now, my son, luckily, he turned around. He developed over the years out of all of that, and he's fine now. He's perfectly fine. He's actually quite awesome. I'm very grateful. I have 2 awesome, amazing adult children, and I'm really proud of both my children. I love them unconditionally, and I'm super proud. But the fact of the matter is, my son now has abandonment issues that needs to be cleared. And unfortunately, he doesn't believe in the spiritual stuff that I do. So he won't let me help him heal. So at some point he'll have to, when he wakes up, he'll have to allow me to teach him how to clear his abandonment issues, because now he has abandonment issues from being put down all the time. So the other one, who I was holding all the time, she doesn't need any of that. She doesn't feel abandoned. Her mom and dad have been here always for her. I was holding her all the time. She got all this love, all this attention. And she's just a strong badass. So she doesn't need to clear that. So what does this mean for you who are watching? If you as a baby were put down all the time and let to stay crying in your crib or your mom put you down, and when you cried, they ignored you, your parents ignored you, whenever you were crying or throwing a tantrum, you were totally ignored, you are going to have abandonment issues, really bad, really, really bad abandonment issues. And you need to clear those. It's really important for you to clear that. So how do you clear it? Well, that's what I do in sessions. You can go to anybody. You don't have to go to me. I'm not here to sell my services. I'm here. I offer services. That's how I, pay the bills for my family to eat and survive. And that's why I do private sessions. This work I'm doing on YouTube is my hours I'm giving away for free. I'm not getting any money. My channel is not monetized. I'm not making money. So if you see commercials, those are from YouTube, and I get 0. I don't get paid on those. So, this is free, but I do have private sessions. But you can go to any healer who you trust, if there's anybody else you trust. But if you feel you have abandonment issues, you can contact me for a private session, or whoever else you want to go to. I don't care who it is. And you need to work on them, because as the time goes by and we're ascending and we're going to the next level, if you do not clear your abandonment issues, what will happen is you cannot go to fifth density. You cannot become fifth density until you're clear on everything. Everything has to be cleared, because your body, your vessel, your mind, and your spirit have to be prepared for the crystalline body. And you can't, if you're full of trauma and you're full of anger, and you're full of judgment, and you're full of being better than others, and egomania, and look at me, crap, and all that kind of stuff. You're full of all these different things. My face is getting redder and redder as I'm sitting here because I'm sweating. I'm like looking at myself on camera with my face progressively getting more and more red. But my right cheek and my nose are sunburned because I was out in the sun the other day for a little too long and I got a sunburn. So there's that. I'm also just sweating and sweating. And the sweating is getting, for me, I don't know about all of you, but my sweating and hot flashes have ramped up even worse the last couple of weeks. And I think it's because we are about to blast off. I think we're getting closer to this big event this weekend, Mother's Day weekend. We have right now, as of right this minute, we have 4 of these big coronal mass ejection solar storm events going that are like the most extreme in 20 years, that they're actually warning everybody on Earth that it's going to possibly knock out satellites, possibly knock out, do an EMP where it knocks out all of the electricity on the planet. That is a possibility. So that's why it's always good to be stocked up on food and water and money and whatever, because we never know when the shit will hit the fan, as they say. So really important. But that is all. This weekend is going to be bad. But I notice my physical body is just more and more hotter. I'm getting hotter and hotter and hotter every day. And when you are having this hot stuff, make sure you take your temperature with the thermometer, because when I'm having a hot flash, I'm not running a fever. I can have a hot flash, take my temperature, it'll be normal body temperature. I'm just hot and sweaty, but my internal body temperature is normal. Make sure you don't have a fever, because if you're having a hot flash, you could have a fever and you could be sick with something, whatever, detoxing, whatever. Really important to know. So putting down babies. So if you're a mom and you're listening to me now, or you're a grandma and you have a daughter or son that you have grandbabies, you need to teach them these things now, that when the baby is crying at night, you go into the room, you pick the baby up and you hold it and you love it and you tell it everything is going to be okay. I'm here for you and you are safe and I love you. And you need to do that regularly. And you need to, when the babies during the day, when they're upset, if they need something, you come and you help them. You don't ignore them, because that's what all of these stinking Rockefeller psychiatrists are going to tell you to do with your child. And it's going to turn them into artificial intelligent, non-player character psychopaths. It's going to make them nutty. Do not do it. Do not do it. Part of if you look at, and I'll give you an example. My son, who's a criminal justice major, he had to study criminology, psychology, all kinds of psychology classes, criminal psychology classes he had to take. And one of the things, because I helped him with some of his homework and studying for some of his tests, and one of the things that he found out is that people who are, what do you want to call it? Sociopaths who go and murder people, who are psychopaths and sociopaths, will usually come from single family homes where mom's always gone working. They will come from, they will be orphans. They have abandonment issues up the yin yang. They've, been neglected. They've been abused. All of this abuse, neglect, abandonment is a big thing with psychopathy and sociopathy. This is why it's so important that every little baby and child, and look at this whole thing with the 9 million kids that are trafficked. Can you imagine those poor little babies? All those children that are trafficked every year, they all have abandonment issues, because in their mind, they're going, where was my mom and dad? They didn't come rescue me. Nobody saved me. Nobody rescued me. I've been abandoned. That is what they're thinking in their little minds. And so you've got 9 million kids each year who, up until they're snuffed out by the cabal, which is what the cabal does. They use them and then they snuff them out. Those poor little children have been horribly traumatized and have all kinds of abandonment issues. You do not want any child to have this. So if you have a baby or you know somebody who has a baby, make sure they know this. Make sure they understand that when that child is crying, you pick them up, you give them love, you say, I'm here for you. I love you. I will always be here for you as long as I breathe. Make them know how loved they are, because that child's going to grow up to be really independent and a badass warrior. Okay? They're going to grow up to be amazing. Amazing. Now, luckily for me with my son, even though that happened when he was little, I learned 2 years later that that was bad. So from that point forward, the rest of the time I was raising him, I was always there for him, always there for him. So I was able to turn it around quite a bit. Um, Plus, to be honest, I'm just lucky. He's just an amazing, freaking awesome kid. And so I really lucked out. I really lucked out with that. So, okay, so I think that's about all I wanted to say. If you think you have abandonment issues, please go get help. Please clear it. Research it on the internet. How do I clear abandonment issues? Do it yourself. Either figure it all out on your own. Contact me through my website, request a private session to see what all you need clearing. What do you have in your past lives that need clear? What do you have in your DNA that needs clearing? What do you have now that needs clearing? Because the things that you don't clear are going to block you with your financial abundance. They're going to block you with your health. They're going to block you with your life. They're going to block you with your relationships. They're going to block you with career, business, everything, prosperity, everything. Every part of your life is going to be blocked. I have a manifestation course. If you go to my website, you'll see it there. It's all about how to manifest all your wishes, hopes, and dreams. The biggest block to you manifesting anything at all is going to be not clearing these blocks, these issues. If you have any of these blocks at all, you're not going to be able to manifest abundance or manifest anything, because you have blocks. So you have to clear the blocks. It's also going to help you to go to fifth density. If you really want to be, I have all these people saying, oh, I really want to go to 5D. I hope I'm in the group and I hope well, stop saying I really want to go and I hope I go and do some work on yourself. Sit down, go into a meditation, ask yourself, what are all the ugly parts of my personality that need healing and need clearing? Am I jealous? Am I possessive? Do I have a need to be right or better than other people, or know more than other people, or feel I'm more important than other people, or feel that I'm more special than other people? Like this whole thing of being a chosen person. I've done videos in the past with other people about that, where we talked about how wrong it is to go around saying, oh, I'm a chosen person. That is all third density baloney. All of us are chosen. We are all chosen. Every single human is a child of God, and we are all chosen by God, by Creator, to be loved by that Creator. And nobody is more important or better than any other group of people. And this is all of this duality, separation, division that turns everybody against each other. I hate you because you're the chosen one, or I hate you because of this. I hate you because of that. So we need to get rid of all of these 3D things. They need to all go bye-bye permanently. And in the meantime, you can do the work on yourself. I can do the work on myself. I've been working on myself since I was a teenager. I started doing this work. I personally do not have anything left to clear other than daily clearing of things, like looking at negative things on social media. I was talking about this earlier. Watching, my kids will rope me into watching a horror movie. I have to do protection, and then I have to do clearing after I watch the horror movie. I have to do daily clearings of things that are stupid stuff like that, but I've already done all my work. I've already done all my trauma work. I've already done all this. I have counselors that have worked with me for years and years and years, spiritual mentors, all kinds of amazing spiritual mentors who have counseled me and helped me. And without these people, one in particular who has really helped me, the most in my life, without these people, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be able to be a teacher. The only reason I'm here teaching you all now is because I've done all the work. I have to stand in my truth, and I have to be authentic. And if I was somebody who still had tons of work to do, I wouldn't be able to teach you guys, because I would not feel good about myself needing to be doing a lot of work and then trying to teach everybody else about this, I would not feel good about that. So I've already done all that work. Am I still working on myself? Absolutely, on a daily basis, clearing my chakras because I'm around negative energy vampire people all the time. There's so much work that I do daily, that I will be doing until we transcend to 5D, whether it's clearing my third eye because of the chemtrails or whatever. I mean, there's daily stuff I do, but I don't have to do all the major work on my ego. I popped into this world not having a big ego to begin with, very, very small, but I've already done all the work on clearing all that. I don't think I'm better than anyone. I don't have a need to have everybody give me their attention and their likes and their whatever. I don't think I'm better than anyone. I don't think I'm more important. I don't think I know more than any other person. I know what I know based on what I've studied and what I've learned. I've already cleared all of that stuff. So that is why I'm able to sit here and teach you all, is because I've done this work for years and years. I started doing the work when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, because as a psychic, I knew I got to do this work. So I started doing that work a long time ago. And I've been doing it for forever. And the majority of the work I've done since I gave birth to my children, because a lot of stuff came to the surface when I became a mom that I had to clear. So a lot of wounds, a lot of trauma, abandonment, kind of, things that happened for me. And so I hope this has been helpful for you. I have, excuse me, one other thing I want to tell you all before, actually two things I need to tell you important before I sign off here. Number one is, do not come on my videos and tell me, go do your research. I have a bunch of people lately who have been coming on and putting these comments. They listen to my information. They don't agree with what I have to say. I don't give a flying F if you agree with me or not. I'm not here for you to agree with. I'm just here sharing my information. If you don't like it, you can move on to the next channel. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. If you don't like anything I say, see ya. If you like some of what I say, great. If you like all of what I say, even better. That's not what's important. I'm here sharing my truth, my information that I've learned, my life experiences. If you don't agree, whatever, but don't you dare come on my video and go off on me with a dissertation about what I said, correcting me and giving me your version of what I said about what I said, and your perceptions and your beliefs. Your beliefs are your beliefs. You can keep them to yourself. I don't care what your belief is. I don't expect you to believe what I believe. You go believe what you believe, but don't go trying to push your belief on myself in the comments on the video and then tell me, do your homework. You need to go do your homework, Kimberly. You need to go do your research. I want you all to know that I've been researching history, religion, world culture, languages, all this kind of stuff, spirituality, metaphysics, supernatural, paranormal, esoterics, all this kind of stuff since I was 12 years old. Okay, I started when I was 12. And why that age? I don't know. Whatever reason. I don't know the reason why that age, but I've been studying it. I'm 58. So I've been studying this stuff for 46 years. I do constant research all the time. I do constant homework all the time. So you have no right to come on my channel and tell me, go do your homework and go on about your version of what I'm sharing here. If you don't like what I'm sharing, see ya. Okay. I don't need you here on my channel. If you don't have anything nice to say, please don't say anything at all, because I'm putting in my free time that I could be, it's a beautiful sunny day here where I live. I could be out laying on the deck, getting a suntan, or maybe more burned on my face, whatever. I could be up there. My husband's up there having, iced tea and laying out on the deck. I could be up there with him right now. And instead I'm making a teaching video for you, because this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to be a teacher. If you don't like what I'm teaching, don't sign up for the course, which means don't watch my video. If you don't like it, I'm not, going to go to some college and sign up for some stupid geography or whatever class, or a class on physics or something that I'm not interested in. If you're not interested in the info I'm sharing and you don't want to just learn from me, then please move on to another channel. I don't care. I do not give a crock. I really don't. I give no Fs. I have a whole jar that says F you, you know what, and it's empty. I don't give any. Okay, my whole jar is empty. So if you don't like it, move on. So I've just had so many people come on, and then they always say, Kimberly, do your homework, do your research. It's like, you got to be effing kidding me. I've been doing nothing but research my whole life. If you don't like my information, your research is your research, your beliefs and your perceptions are your beliefs and perceptions. Go on your merry way and I wish you peace and love and joy and goodwill. I do not have any ill intention towards anyone. I wish for every human being on this earth to have peace and love and happiness and health. Okay. Except for the reptilians and the bad guys. I do not wish good things for any of these evil, whaters. Not at all. Sorry. I cannot wish good anything for these evil people. But all the other people, the normal kind of people who don't do terrible things to children and don't try to depopulate humanity, I wish for all the other humans on this earth to have peace, love, and joy. So go be on your merry way, have peace, love, and joy. Go believe what you want. I don't care. I'm here sharing as a teacher when I'm here to teach. I'm not teaching physics. I'm not teaching geography. I'm teaching spiritual growth journeys. I'm teaching what I teach. I'm teaching my stuff. This is my stuff. If you don't like my stuff, don't sit there and tell me to go do my homework and do my research when I've been doing it every day my whole life. It is extremely disrespectful and rude of you to come on my channel and do that. Okay. So sorry to have to do that, but I have to speak my truth. The second message I have is that I'm going to be off of here. I'm going to maybe do one more video before I go off of social media, but I'm going to be taking a break. Every summer, usually at least once or twice a year, I try to take social media breaks to recharge my batteries. And I'm part of why I'm taking this break is because actually I have my women's retreat coming up here this week. I have to prepare for it. And then I have 5 days of working with my women's retreat. So I'm going to be gone all this coming week off of social media. And then I'm going to be off of all social media. I will not be on Facebook. I will not be answering emails. I will not be answering text messages or anything from anyone unless it is an emergency, which means you would have to be a family member or one of my best friends, because I'm not going to be answering anybody's stuff. I'm not going to be on Facebook. I'm not going to be on anything on any social media. I'm not going to be here on YouTube for until after, I think it's June 3rd or something like that, because I am taking a break to recharge my batteries so that I can continue this work, because it really drains a lot out of me. It's really exhausting when I'm doing private sessions with people and I'm doing healing work with people. It's like my body's running a marathon like umpteen times a day, and it's just extremely exhausting. So I'm going to be taking that break. I just wanted you all to know. So if you don't see my posts on social media or on YouTube until the beginning of June, that is why. Nothing bad happened to me. It's all good. I'm going to hopefully be having fun at my women's retreat with all the 26 ladies that signed up and that are coming. And hopefully I'll have some pictures and exciting stuff to share from my retreat with everybody on social media when I get back. Or possibly, I'm sure that because Sarah Nash and Rosemary Levesque will both be there with me teaching, and they will be taking pictures and posting. So you can always check out their Facebook pages to Reverend Sarah Nash and Rosemary Levesque. You can check out their pages on Facebook. They're not on YouTube, but on Facebook, to see their pictures from the retreat that we're doing and stuff like that, because I'm probably not going to be posting anything at all until I think like June. It's going to be like June 2nd, 3rd, somewhere in there, because I'm going to be on a vacation, and I'm going to be in the middle of the wilderness where there's no electronic anything. There's not cell phone towers, there's not Wi-Fi's, there's nothing. I'm going to be literally in the wilderness, having a break. So I just wanted to share that with everybody, and I'm going to go commune with nature for a few weeks after my women's retreat. I'm doing my women's retreat, and I'm going to have 2 weeks in the wilderness communing with nature, and I will see you all then. But between now and when I take my break, I might do one more video. So this may or may not be my last before my break. I'm not sure. It depends on how much time I have this weekend and into the beginning of next week. If I have a little bit of time on Monday, I might make one more video on Monday, and then that's going to be it. So just wanted to let you all know, and thank you all, and sorry for having to go off about the comments, but it gets a little daunting when you're on here giving your free time and your energy to help people. I'm doing this to help whoever needs this help, whoever it is that resonates with this. You may or may not, whatever. I'm here to offer that help. And then people come on and they start bashing you, criticizing you, giving you their, oh, your information's incorrect, it's mine that's correct. It's this whole third density, I'm right, you're wrong kind of thing. Nobody's right and nobody's wrong. Everybody has their own perceptions, their own beliefs, their own opinions. You're allowed to have an opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion. It doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong. And there's no way to prove if your information is right or mine is wrong anyways. You can't prove most of this. So you need to just keep your opinions to yourself if you're not going to have anything nice to say. And that's it. And I love you all. See you next time.